Every bloody time. I'm actually just gonna put this down. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would do a how I edit my underwater photos tutorial. I put something out about this on Instagram the other day and everyone went crazy. So I thought, here we go, why not? I've got a little time, so I'll do it. Okay, so I just managed to do the stupidest thing ever. And my camera died during the filming of the intro. So apologies, I'm back now. Today, anyway, I have two photos that I'm going to edit up. The first one is a high quality photo. It was shot on a Canon 5D Mark II, I think, or maybe Mark III. And it's shot in RAW, so it's very, very easy to edit. It's really high quality. And then the second photo is just a screen grab from a GoPro, so a much lower quality photo at the other end of the spectrum. Both were shot on freediving, have the similar kind of color profile to start with, a very greeny color. So yeah, this is it. My simple tutorial on how I color correct my photos underwater, with me rambling on in the background. You're getting the full extent of my chat. And this is what I do if I'm filming or not. I just talk to myself. So it's just another day editing for me. Right, as you can see, I have selected a few photos here, and I'm going to go across into develop. So this is Lightroom, if you haven't used it before. I have never used anything else to edit my underwater pictures. It's brilliant. I'm obsessed with Adobe. So yeah, they don't sponsor me, but Adobe, if you'd like to, that would be really cool. So these pictures are all very similar. I think I'm probably going to take this one. And then the first thing I'm going to do is just maybe change the angle slightly so it's a bit straighter with the turtle there. And then also maybe just check the lens correction. No, I don't like that. I'm going to keep it as it is. Maybe just cut that bit out. Okay, so here I have my basic underwater photo. This was shot in Coral Bay on Ningaloo Reef with a Canon 5D Mark II or Mark III. I'm not actually sure. Maybe it's Mark III. Or maybe it's a Mark IV. Can't remember. Either way, Canon 5D Mark something. So who is riding a motorbike during quarantine? Not cool. So the first thing that we're going to do on an underwater photo, or the first thing that I do anyway, is adjust the white balance and the tint. So that is over here on this side here. So you have the temperature and the tint. So what we want to do is kind of counteract, these whites should be white, and we want to counteract this. So we're just going to change the white balance. So either you can click on this dropper tool here and select a neutral color on here. I often pick something that's quite white. You can also use like a dark gray. Just kind of you see there, it removes all the extra green. And then you can just adjust this manually as you kind of see fit to just get rid of those greens. So as you can tell, if you've got too much green in your photo, you want to be moving this more into the pink zone. And again, with the temperature as well, if there's too much blue in your photo, you can try moving it into the yellow. It's just about playing with these colors to kind of get it back to a base point. I'm not really explaining this very well. But anyway, that's how you set your white balance. White balance is really important. The next thing I'll probably do is come down to this section here. Probably take the exposure down slightly for now. I always adjust these once at the beginning. And put the contrast up a tiny bit. I always come into these at the beginning. I play around with them and then I always come back and edit them again later. The next thing I do is I'll always see what the auto's giving me. Interesting. And then I'll usually just go back in and adjust it myself. I just like to know what the computer thinks is wrong with my own light settings, which is so fair because I'm still playing around with that stuff. And then, yeah, I just kind of adjust it so that I like my photos quite contrasted, not too much. I don't like it to look too edited. And then I'll come down. Usually I add a bit of texture and clarity at the end. So I'm just going to come right down now. Oh, tone curve. This is fun. Sometimes I use this, sometimes I don't. A lot of people will do this by making an S here, which sometimes I do, but I'm actually just going to add a tiny bit of dark and a tiny bit of shadow. So basically I'm forming an S, but I'm just dragging these along instead. For me, I just prefer to do it this way. And this basically just adds a little contrast between the colors and the tones. And now this is where the magic happens. This section here, if we scroll down, this is the selective color gradient. And this is really where like amazing things happen. This photo is actually a really bad example because I actually don't want to adjust too much. But essentially you can change the hue, saturation and luminance. So what this means is the hue is kind of the I don't know if this is the right word, but this is the tone of the color, or the color of the color essentially. So you see this lovely blue that we've got here in the back. At the moment it looks blue, but if you grab onto one of these toggles here, actually go for the blue, you can change the shade, maybe that's the right word, of blue here. So you can see at this end of the spectrum it goes very green, this end it goes purple, and so in the middle you can kind of play around with the look that you're going for. So in this example, you can see that the turtle shell I think is a little bit too kind of green for me, so I'm going to bring that down slightly towards the yellow end of the green. I might bump the yellow towards the orangey side as well. You see it's still quite green there. So I'm just going to drag this down to this end a bit. I'm quite happy with the blue in the background. Yeah, I'm quite content for now. So then the next thing I'll move on to is the saturation. So the saturation is pretty self-explanatory. How much the color is saturated, how intense the color is, I guess. I don't know why I'm trying to explain things. So here again, I'll have a look at the blue. You can make that really saturated. You see that looks fake. I probably wouldn't do that. But you can add a little bit more saturation. You can also desaturate for different colors. Let's see. So I'm probably going to saturate the green, the yellow a little bit, the orange, yeah, why not? And then just play around with these really until you've kind of got the saturation that you're looking for. And then of course you have luminance, and this is the light of each color, which is really fun. I love that you can adjust the light of each color. So as you can see here, still you can do some really cool things. Like photography editing is so personal, and depending on what you want to do with it, you can create all kinds of crazy effects. So I'm actually probably going to bring that down slightly, and then I might bring not entirely sure. So yeah, for now let's say that looks better than it did. Yeah, so as you can see it's looking pretty good, well, better than it was color wise. So now I'm gonna head back up to the top, and I'm going to add a little bit of clarity in. Nope, just a tiny bit. There we go. And a little bit of texture. Dehaze is cool. Sometimes it really like works on your photos, but it's something that I think has to be used in such small doses. I'm actually going to go back here and I'm going to bring this up slightly and then go back and add a little bit of dehaze in. In terms of vibrance and saturation, so I'm going to add a tiny bit of vibrance, just a little bit. Yeah, and then one final quick tool which I would use in a quick edit like this would be, I just grab this little this tool here. So you can make this bigger and smaller, and what this tool does is it essentially heals spots in your photos. So as we can see here, we have some little speckles in the photo, particles in the water that have been caught in the sunlight. And so what you can do is just click on this like that. The computer often selects a little spot for you, but I often change it. And then, yeah, it heals them essentially. So you can just click on all these little spots and away they go. So this is just another quick little tool for kind of making your photos look a little bit more perfect. Yeah, so that is a quick color correction. Can't zoom out now. My mouse hates me. So this is essentially a really quick color correction from how I get rid of those greens in my photos and transform it from this into that. I think I'll do another one now as well, a GoPro screenshot for you. So let's see. Okay guys, I found a video of a porcupine ray that I shot on a GoPro in the Maldives. Isn't he gorgeous? Shout out to Yanni for telling me that this was actually a porcupine ray. I'd never seen one before. I came up from this free dive and I was like, oh my gosh, what is this that I've just seen? So yeah, as you can see, it's a bloody weird looking creature. He's just feeding in the sand right now. Okay, so I'm just going to take a screenshot. Not the best picture ever, but why not? Take a screenshot here, and then all I'm going to do is head over to Lightroom. Computer's being slow today. How are my glasses so wonky? So now I'm importing that screenshot into Lightroom, and I'm going to head over to the Develop tab. I'm just going to set this back to normal. There we go. So here we have it. Obviously a screenshot isn't the best quality thing you've ever seen in your life. But here we have it. And now I'm just going to set the white balance as I did in the last photo. So just picking a neutral. Okay, that's probably a bit not so great. Nope. So now with this photo, that was really not effective. So I'm now going to kind of adjust it by eye. So it's looking a little bit aqua-y green. So I'm probably going to add some pink in there. And just kind of play around with it until it looks a bit better. This is probably the worst photo to pick to do this one. So as you can see, I'm just starting to move it away from this green color. So as you can see, it's moving away now from this green color. So I think I'm probably just going to leave it there for the moment. You can always come back and readjust these things later. And then again, see what auto's saying. No, don't really like that. I'm probably going to adjust the contrast slightly. Yeah, Yeah, probably take the shadows down a little bit, just these. But before I do anything else, I'm probably going to come here again and do the tone curve. Interesting. Yeah, I'm going to take that down. Yeah, take the darks down slightly. And bringing the lights up just slightly. Okay, so now again, if you look back to the first photo, looking a bit better than the original. Still not exactly... There we go. Sorry, I just felt like it needed a little bit more yellow. A little bit more warmth, I should say. So this is obviously the warm end and this is the light end. Warm and light? God, I'm really having a day. The warm and cool. Cool. Yellow is warm, blue is cool. So now I'm going to head back down to the selective color gradients again. Now this is where things get interesting with GoPro, because if you are taking a screenshot, which I often do for GoPro videos, the quality isn't always great. So if you play around with these too much, you might see that it just doesn't really work. But anyway, let's have a crack and see what's happening. It can create some kind of distortion. Probably distortion's the wrong word. Create some like weird thing that happens in the color. Don't really have any technical language. So what I'm going to do first is, if you see here in all of this area, it's kind of grey at the moment, and I think I want that to be a bit more white. And also it's still kind of got this blue tinge on it. So I'm going to try and take down some of the aqua, some of the saturation to just reduce some of that out. Not too much, just a little bit. We don't want to play with the blue too much because that will take out the blue in the background. Let's just bring that down slightly. And then there's not really much else going on color wise in this picture. Probably not the best example now that I think about it. So again, play with the hue. If you bring it this way, you end up with green. If you bring it this way, you end up with blue. I'm just going to bring it slightly towards the blue. The blue's quite happy there. And yeah, apart from that, actually, probably not the best picture to pick because, yeah, because it's just blue and white. These aren't the most colourful animals. Anyway, maybe I'll do another one then. So now I'm going to come back up here again and I'm going to add a little bit of dehaze, and I'm going to add a little bit of clarity, not too much. Too much clarity I think looks excessive. I'm going to add a tiny bit of vibrance as well, and a little bit of texture, why not? So as you can see here, that is just a very quick color correction from how to get your GoPro videos from green to kind of a normal looking color. Kind of want to bring up the highlights on this a bit as well, bring up the whites a bit. I mean, I'm not trying to overexpose it here, but there are a few more things that I would do to this, but I'm just trying to show you a very quick color correction tutorial. So that is how I would color correct a GoPro photo. And yeah, I haven't really done this in any sort of professional way because this is just how I learned by watching YouTube videos. And this is essentially exactly what I would do if I opened a photo. And then after this, I would start playing around with other things. Thank you so much for watching today, guys. Remember, if you like this video, please like and subscribe because it helps support my channel and it will encourage me to make more videos. Also, if you enjoyed this, please let me know in the comments and what you want to see next, because this is such a basic video and there are so many amazing things you can do in Lightroom and Photoshop, and I would love to share the other stuff, the slightly more technical stuff that I do with you. So let me know if you enjoyed this. Stay healthy, stay safe, and have a great week.